With WrestleMania 41 just around the corner, the road to WWE's grandest stage is heating up, and the picture is finally starting to come into focus. But if there's one thing fans know about WrestleMania, it's to expect the unexpected. It's the one night where legends return without warning, alliances crumble in a flash, and the course of a superstar's career can change in a heartbeat. From long-burning rivalries to mysterious tensions that are only now beginning to boil over, the air is thick with unpredictability. As the countdown continues and emotions reach a fever pitch, WrestleMania 41 is shaping up to be more than just another event. It's becoming must-see chaos. Here's why this year's showcase of the Immortals is set to shake the WWE Universe to its core. All eyes are turning to WWE WrestleMania 41, set to electrify Las Vegas on April 19th and 20, with a card that promises fireworks on paper. The journey to this year's show of shows has been a roller coaster, marked by thrilling highs and frustrating creative lows. Some matchups have been building for over a year, while others seem to materialize out of nowhere, shaped by WWE's ever-shifting landscape. In today's WWE, long-term storytelling isn't just a trend, it's the new blueprint. That means what happens at WrestleMania 41 could echo far beyond the final bell. In fact, the seeds for WrestleMania 42 might already be planted the very next night on Raw. With WrestleMania 42 officially headed to New Orleans on April 11th and 12, 2026, the same battlegrounds that hosted iconic moments at WrestleMania 30 and 34, expectations are sky high. Now let's kick this off with the first question. Is the Visionary about to pull off another masterstroke in Las Vegas? When it comes to the Royal Rumble, it's never just about who wins. It's about who makes a statement. And this year, Seth Rollins made one loud and clear. In a moment that shocked the WWE Universe, CM Punk found himself tossed over the top rope by none other than Rollins and Roman Reigns at the same time. That wasn't just elimination, that was a declaration, but things didn't cool off from there. Far from it. After Logan Paul managed to get rid of Punk, fans witnessed an explosive post-match confrontation at ringside. Rollins didn't waste a second, delivering a crushing stomp to Reigns right on the steel steps. And just when the dust was starting to settle, he went straight for Punk, reigniting the fire once again. Since then, the fuse has only burned hotter. Rollins made sure Punk didn't walk out of the Elimination Chamber as the victor, sabotaging his shot at WrestleMania glory. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns, never one to stay silent, stepped back into the picture, this time interrupting the steel cage clash between Punk and Rollins. But as the brawls have intensified and the chaos has escalated, one man has quietly become the centerpiece of it all: Paul Heyman. Yes, the wise man himself has become the unlikely prize in this high-stakes chess match. Caught between loyalty to the tribal chief and long-standing history with the best in the world, Heyman is now being subtly courted by both sides. And while Punk and Reigns battle it out, physically and verbally, for Heyman's allegiance, Rollins has played his cards a little differently. He hasn't fought for Heyman's attention. He's watched, calculated, waited. A decade ago, Seth Rollins shocked the world with what's still remembered as the heist of the century. But what if that was just a warm-up? Because now, with Reigns and Punk laser-focused on each other and Heyman caught in the middle, in the city of lights, luck, and long shots, could the Visionary be ready to pull off the greatest heist of his career by stealing away the wise man himself? Stratton versus Flair. Where's the line between reality and the show? WWE fans can't stop talking about it. That now infamous face-off between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair has lit a fire under what was, up until then, a pretty underwhelming feud. Some are calling it real. Others say it was just great storytelling. But one thing's certain, everyone's watching now. Charlotte Flair, fresh off a Royal Rumble win that shocked the system, hasn't exactly been riding high. Instead of gaining steam on the road to WrestleMania, she's been fighting off criticism and trying to reconnect with a fan base that seems increasingly skeptical of her spotlight. On the other hand, Tiffany Stratton, once the underdog in this feud, has flipped the script. In that promo, she came out swinging. Whether those jabs were scripted or from the heart is anyone's guess. But the way she handled herself? Pure confidence. She fed off the crowd and owned the moment, reminding everyone why she's been one of WWE's fastest rising stars. And Flair? She didn't walk away from that exchange looking like the queen. The promo may have been meant to elevate the feud, but it left Charlotte looking vulnerable, and not in a good way. Whatever momentum she had heading into WrestleMania seems to have taken another hit. Now the big question is, where do they go from here? That promo blurred the lines between fiction and reality in a way that few segments do. It stirred emotions, sparked debates, and turned a lukewarm rivalry into one that suddenly felt personal. But if WWE wants to cash in on that fire, they've got to move quickly. The next steps in this storyline are make or break. They need to channel that tension, sharpen the narrative, and remind the WWE universe that this isn't just about who walks out with the title, it's about who owns the moment. If they play this right, Stratton versus Flair could go from a forgettable feud to a full-blown WrestleMania classic. Will Kevin Owens make it to WrestleMania 41? Or is this the longest work of his career? In the chaos leading up to WrestleMania, few moments have stirred more confusion or concern than Kevin Owens' emotional revelation on the April 4th edition of SmackDown. The prizefighter, a Grand Slam champion and fan favorite, stood in the ring and dropped a bombshell. He's been battling a serious neck issue for months, and now he needs surgery. Naturally, fans were stunned. Some pointed back to that sickening ladder spot at the Royal Rumble, brutal, even by Owens standards, and wondered if that was the breaking point. But the real shock came when backstage rumors started to swirl. Reports began suggesting this might not be a short-term absence. We're talking years, up to 5 if whispers are to be believed. But here's where it gets murky. The announcement didn't come through a press release or even social media. It came in the middle of a promo, and right before WrestleMania. Right before Owens was supposedly set to clash with none other than Randy Orton. That timing has set the internet ablaze. Is Owens being genuine? Or is this all just part of a masterfully twisted storyline? Because if it's a work, and that's a big if, it might go down as one of the most controversial setups in recent memory. Faking a serious injury, especially one as sensitive as a neck issue, would be walking a razor's edge. The emotional investment from fans is real. And if Owens is just playing possum, well, it better lead to something huge. But if it's not a work, if the injury is legit, then WrestleMania 41 might be missing one of its most beloved and hard-hitting performers. And that leaves a massive hole in the card and in the hearts of fans who have followed Owens through every fight, feud, and fall. So what happens now? Will Kevin Owens shock the world and show up anyway, defying the odds in true KO fashion? Or will he truly be sidelined, leaving fans wondering what could have been? One thing's certain, whether it's real or not, all eyes will be on that entrance ramp in Las Vegas. And if that familiar music hits, the roof might just blow off the building. What's next for Cody Rhodes and John Cena? Assuming Cena wins, if the stars align the way many expect, John Cena will walk out of WrestleMania 41 as the new WWE champion. Not just any champion, the record-breaking 17-time world champion. The man who surpasses Ric Flair and solidifies his legacy once and for all. But in doing so, Cena may unknowingly set the stage for the next era of WWE, and it won't be gentle. Because while Cena's farewell tour may be coming to its final act, the aftershocks of his triumph could ripple through 2026 and beyond. WrestleMania 41 will serve as both an ending and a beginning. Loose ends will be tied, rivalries will cool, but new wars will rise. And with Cena holding the gold one last time, every major name on the roster will be gunning for him. Randy Orton, for one, stands tall as a poetic challenger. No matter who he faces or defeats on the grand stage, a final chapter in the Orton-Cena saga feels inevitable. These two have danced before, but never with the stakes this high, never with Cena on his last lap. But it's not just Orton in the hunt. Cena's clean-cut return to his classic babyface persona opens doors for fresh conflicts. Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, all could have a legitimate claim to the title. Each with their own reasons, each with their own timing. The champion's throne has never been more vulnerable. And then there's Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. The man who finished the story a year earlier, only to find himself slowly becoming the very thing he once stood against. Because while Cena's victory could be seen as a feel-good send-off, it might spark something much darker in Rhodes. The cracks in Cody's persona have already begun to show. Once beloved and surrounded by allies, he now finds himself increasingly isolated. The fans still cheer, but there's a growing tension. A silent question. Is this really who Cody Rhodes is? If Cena becomes the top dog again, if the spotlight shifts away, Cody could see it as a betrayal, not just by WWE, but by the universe itself. And that's when the nightmare truly begins. A Homelander-style turn. A Cody Rhodes no longer smiles for the crowd, but stares down the lens with contempt. He is not a full-blown heel, but a calculated, cold, and eerily charismatic champion who sees Cena as a symbol of everything holding him back. WrestleMania 41 isn't just another stop on WWE's yearly calendar. It's a turning point, a launchpad, a battleground where new stories are born and old ones are shattered. From Seth Rollins' high-stakes mind games to Tiffany Stratton's breakout moment, from Kevin Owens' uncertain fate to the potential passing of the torch or stealing of the spotlight between John Cena and Cody Rhodes, this year's event is laced with possibilities that could redefine WWE as we know it. And the best part? No one really knows how it ends, which is exactly why WrestleMania 41 might just go down as the greatest in WWE history. Now we throw it to you. What match are you most excited about? And do you think Cena walks out with number 17? Or does someone stop him before he even gets there? And if you want more deep dives like this, where we break down the emotional layers behind wrestling's biggest moments, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more.